My name is Matúš Gajdoš. I am a product manager at GA Drilling company based in Slovakia. And the focus of my presentation is not on some success stories in the PCT procedure, but actually on the processes which are ahead of this, on creation of a company's IP strategy, on education of the employees, because at the end of the day, these are the activities which can give you quality and quantity in your PCT applications. So the purpose of my slide deck is to explain what our company does, what is our IP strategy, and to give you some hints which might help you to create IP-oriented culture in the business. I think that these advices might be useful mainly for SMEs. So let's start with the first one. So what GA Drilling does? The business opportunity of GA Drilling is based on the current status that deep drilling is very costly mainly in deeper hard rock formations. So mainly beyond 5 kilometers of the depth, the cost rises exponentially, and therefore it prevents mainly from wider utilization of geothermal energy, which is a very efficient and baseload renewable source. And the vision and the mission of the company is focused on development of the technology named plasma bit. So it's a completely brand new drilling method. When compared to the existing rotary drilling, this technology disintegrates rock using high temperature, using electrical plasma. And the final target is to enable utilization of geothermal energy also in deeper positions. When you look on this left bottom map, it's the subsurface temperature map in 5 kilometers. So as you can see, there are some hotspots like Iceland, like Tuscany, or also the Central Europe, mainly Hungary, has extraordinary geothermal conditions. But if you reach 10 kilometers, as it is shown on the right bottom map, here you can see that you can reach significantly higher temperatures to reach significantly better energy efficiency what concerns the electricity production. And this is really a step change which might help to prevent the climate change. So this is in a nutshell the business strategy or the business opportunity which our company is focusing on. And on the following only 1 minute video, you can see in a nutshell some moments from development of this technology, because actually this is not the completed and deployed technology. We are still in the development and testing stage, and this can give you a little bit of feeling of how it looks like, how it works, and so on. So this is these are some pictures from testing of this technology, testing in water conditions, testing also in hyperbaric chamber. This technology requires a significant mechanical engineering and electrical engineering effort. Then based on this, all the components are manufactured, and again hours and hours of testing using high-speed camera, some lifetime testing, and so on and so on. Then also very important is connectivity with the existing equipment, existing stuff, and so on. And by the end of the day, it's not only about the plasma drilling itself, but it's also about the combination with the existing technology and deployment of this as the whole system, as the whole package. Where we are right now as a company, so we have over 50 employees based mainly in Slovakia, but we do have also a design branch in Bristol in the UK. The majority of the employees are engineers, and also we have a couple of PhD level employees. The team is international, and we have also some business branches also in the Middle East and in the US. We have a broadly adapted employee stock option plan, and on the IP side, we have currently 23 granted patents and 3 trademarks. Now coming to our IP strategy, as I mentioned, there are 23 patents for 8 different solutions. We are focusing in our strategy mainly on Europe and US, and there are also 2 filed priority patent applications which are prior to PCT procedure, and we are also utilizing, or we utilize the utility models because it gives a simpler protection or simpler procedure in Slovakia, and still it is possible to continue from utility model into the PCT stage. Here I would like to mention also a few notes which might be useful for some pre-commercial or startup companies regarding IP strategy. At first, as I mentioned, we are right now in the pre-commercial stage, so there are relatively limited revenues. The company is funded mainly by investors, by industrial partners, and R&D grants. On the other hand, IP is approved for potential investors, and missing IP protection is definitely a showstopper for the potential support or potential investment from the partners or from venture capital bodies. In our strategy, we file the priority applications in Slovakia or in the UK, as I mentioned, since we have branches in these 2 countries. And then we continue into PCT and into national phases. And what is, from my point of view, very important, and this is really a challenge, is to find a balance between when you have some invention, between some prompt filing and fine-tuning this solution, because many times you need to protect it as soon as possible when it is a brand new or breakthrough technology development. On the other hand, it might complicate your situation when you later, a couple of weeks or months ago, you find some new phenomena or some new invention which can interfere with the original one. And what is, again, some more advice from my point of view is very necessary for pre-commercial stage is to have the competition analysis. And here is just an example, like we do have it when comparing the conventional mechanical approaches, some combined approaches, and also purely emerging technologies like ours. And now I would like to explain a little bit also about how to create this IP-oriented culture in the business. I think, from my point of view, company's IP stands on 4 pillars: on corporate culture and motivating environment, then on education of employees, filling strategy, reflecting the technology maturity, and also, last but not least, is policy, keeping the electronic data safe. What concerns the first one, this corporate culture, I think that the important is to raise understanding and awareness, starting from the founders or owners of the company through the middle management up to the specialist. And for this, it is, I think, very important to have binding company procedures with templates which are related to this, and also to reflect or to explain the motivation also to the particular employees, like the becoming inventor it might enhance your CV. You may reach some financial benefit. You can see your idea working, and also it may simplify your work, and you are not reinventing the wheels. Then, what on the side of education of employees, we introduced two measures. The first one is IP program, where we educate the potential investors, potential inventors, and since in Slovakia there is no education on the side of IP, it's necessary to the majority of employees to explain the issue of industrial rights, to learn how to work with patent databases, and to understand what we intend to protect. And the second measure is so-called IP challenge. Here we wanted to share IP search results in the particular area in which that particular employee works, and also to increase the quality and quantity of search activity. So there were usually once a month 5 presenters. There was a jury from the middle management of the company, and the most beneficial presentation was the presenter received a reward for the most interesting presentation. And here is just an example that this IP program was based on 7 presentations, each per 90 minutes, and there were also 2 exercises, each for 8 hours, regarding the research in the patent databases, and also regarding some argumentation on the specific invention. And on the right hand side, you can see also the certificate after passing through this IP program. Then the third pillar is filing strategy, and I think that this is very important from the point of view that probably all of you know technology readiness levels, and I think that this might mainly in the startups and early stage companies that IP filing strategy needs to reflect this structure and be in line with the potential market entry. And number 4 is policy of keeping electronic data safe. This is, from my point of view, very important, because in 2018 our company was robbed, and the robbers took laptops, and 50 laptops, and one of them was also mine working laptop, and therefore it's necessary to be ready for such situations. You need to know what intellectual property you have, you know where you do have it, and you should be prepared for this, introducing some online and local data protection. And also it's necessary, when considering communication with the patent attorneys, to be ready for the third-party system. So this is all from my side. I very much appreciate that I was invited for this presentation, and would be very happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you again for sharing the IP, mindset from the perspective of the company, which is something, because we've spoken already about, filing strategies. You've also touched upon this, but what was interesting, in addition to what was, already shared by the other speakers, is really, and especially as you mentioned, at the beginning of your presentation, for startups, for small businesses, companies, to really put their mindset into IP protection. So that's something that I think, and it was very interesting to see also that you cover the human resources aspect. And at the end of the spectrum, just to go fast, and apologies, I don't want to shrink, your presentation, but just, some of the highlights that I wanted to share and flag in my role as a moderator is also, following, the follow-up of, the IP strategy, that is, managing the portfolio. This is also something, because we know that having a nice, granted patents is cool, but what you do with it is, is much better.